you guys ready for the next comedian tonight? That has the soul of a 70-year-old racist black man. He might hate white women more than I love them. Coming up to the stage is Patrick Harvey!
Thank you for that beautiful introduction there, Antoine. I know what you guys are thinking when you look up here. Sandals in the cool weather, scruffy beard, bushy hair, tired, glassy eyes. Computer programmer, right? I don't really appreciate it when people judge a book by its cover. And by the way, are there assholes out there that ruin the beginning of books? I don't want to digress. I don't like it when people judge a book by its cover. And I've been called a lot of things in my life, and the one that bugs me the most is pothead. I am not a pothead. I'm a stoner. And there's a difference, seriously. No, really. As a stoner, I can do things when I'm high, but I don't have to. The pothead, meanwhile, feels like they need to get high to do everything. Like, they gotta get high when they wake up in the morning. They gotta get high before class or work, before they go to bed at night. I mean, you can't make plans with these people. You guys know these guys. Hey, buddy, the movie starts at 7:30. You ready to roll? Yeah, hold on. Let me just get high first. You know, dinner reservations are in like 20 minutes. We should probably, yeah, hold on. Let me just get high first. Dude, I just got a bag of the super duper. You want to get high with me? Yeah, hold on. Let me just get high first. Hey, yo, Patrick, you're up next. Yeah, hold on. Let me just get high first. And much like the alcoholic, there are functioning potheads. But I like to consider myself a stoner functioning. Because when it comes down to it, I'd really rather, either way, hang with high people than drunks. Because I would much rather spend the night repeating myself than telling somebody else to shut the hell up. And how come there's no whitepeople.com? Really? And what's up with that fucking ALS Ice Bucket Challenge thing? Did you guys get involved in that?
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, I get it. You know, I get it. It's for a good cause. But when it comes down to, like, let's see. Am I going to dump a bucket of ice water over my head or send money? That's not challenging. And I know some people did both and it raised awareness and that's a good thing. But again, if your purpose is to avoid the challenge in order to pay, well then let's make the challenge challenging. Like, I don't know, how about the Bukkake challenge for testicular cancer? I mean, one way or another, most people are going to donate. I mean, my childhood was more challenging than the ALS Ice Bucket thing. Because I grew up in a mixed home. I'm a mixed child. I'm part middle child, part oldest child, and part youngest child. I mean, I've got 9 brothers and 5 sisters, and not a single one of them is directly related. They're all halves and steps, technically. I mean, I've had more parents than I've had lovers. And I'm 42. So you guys do the math while I watch the hearts break. being in my 40s in a college town can be challenging, honestly, because I generally wind up hanging out with, younger women in their 20s, which personally I have no problem with. But the generation gap sometimes brings up situations that might be a little bit confusing, hard to get through. Like when we first meet and we're talking and we're getting to know one another. And I have this tendency to really take in a woman's facial features. And I know she thinks I'm all enthralled and romantic, but I'm actually checking her over for phenotypic familiarity. Because the last thing I need to do is go to bed with my long-lost daughter. And like I said, growing up for me, my childhood was challenging. It was like growing up in the mafia. I've got there's 6 of us that are tight no matter what, thick as thieves. There's 3 I haven't even met yet, 4 that are essentially exiled at this point, and 2 of my siblings nobody's killed yet, simply because it's best all around for everybody at this point. And but people really, due to this whole empathy thing, they don't evolve fast enough, in my opinion, right? I mean, unlike animals who evolve or other species who evolve at a rapid rate, mainly due to leaving the weak ones behind, we don't do that. I mean, face it, humans are losing the evolutionary race. You thought I was going to pick my nose, didn't you? I mean, what if I was? I do. Doesn't everybody? I mean, I masturbate too, but that's not happening up here. But let's face it, nose picking and masturbation are essentially the same thing. Everybody does it. A lot of people don't want to admit it. And most people aren't comfortable doing it in front of others. Some people do it in the car, when they're in a hurry. Occasionally, some get a little curious, and they might want to taste it. Don't get me wrong, just so I'm clear, just so there's no confusion, I am talking about masturbation. And I use the term masturbation because as adults, vernacular is really important. Sometimes slang just doesn't get your point across properly. If you go to the doctor for a colonoscopy, if the doctor wants the patient to feel and know that everything's cool and everything worked out fine, don't say, "Well, Mr. Harvey, we didn't find shit." And I really wish, again, that human evolution would speed up a little bit, why don't we have women with 3 breasts by now? That would save us from doing the whole push them together and lick both nipples at once thing, which is awesome, by the way. And ladies, if you haven't experienced that, and your man's here tonight, you're welcome. Sometimes cutting to the chase is really the way to go. Have you guys seen the new Gillette razor commercial? Gillette body. It's for a man's body is like terrain. It's rugged. It's rough. It's uneven. We have a rounded head, 3 lubricating strips, and an anti-slip grip. Men don't need all that. I mean, why don't they just save a little bit of commercial money and time and just cut to the chase? Gillette body. It'll shave your package. Because, there's some things you don't want to risk, And I'm a risk taker, right? But again, there's some things you don't want to chance. Statistically, 1 in every 4 people has a sexually transmitted disease, which is why I personally stop at threesomes. Okay, I have to admit that's not actually true. it usually stops way before the threesome even has a shot. I haven't seen my girlfriend in a couple months, and I understand most guys might be a little concerned by that sort of thing, but not me. I'm fine. You know, I know she's okay. I know she's around because I know there's one friend of mine who has been seeing her. They say you're never lonely when you love the one you're with. And I love me, so I'm never lonely. I mean, I've had me more than anybody ever has. That might be the number one reason I'm not a homosexual. Or maybe I'm just gay for me. But really, I mean, I'm a professional masturbator. Seriously, I fuck everything from socks to paper towel tubes. And while several times along the way I thought I was in love, I had to remember that I just got attention deficit obsessive compulsions. Or maybe I'm a pothead. Because I always forget to not fall in love with that same girl over and over again. And that's why it never works out. Or maybe it's me. In reflecting, I think maybe it is me, actually. It's not the same girl over and over again. Okay, I usually end up falling in love with the woman I think she is. It's what I call, it's not even real. It's like, it's more of a hypothetical situation. And, you know, I'll admit I'm a little jaded. I was thinking about having a t-shirt made just for me that said, "Women need not apply." And then I figured that may give the wrong impression. The impression that women are applying in the first place. Has anybody here ever experienced time travel? So, I've been a little jaded, and I was thinking about having a t-shirt made that says, "Women need not apply." And then I figured, that might get off the wrong impression. The impression that women are applying in the first place. Has anybody ever experienced time travel? One thing I've learned in all of my relationships is that great sex is no reason to stay together. But breaking up, no reason not to have great sex. Because although new vagina is sweet, there's that one you're never gonna forget, right guys? Don't answer if you're here with somebody. There's that one you're never gonna forget, you know, the one that just fit right. That girl was so tight that it took 3 days to regrow your penis dermis. And ladies, I'm not gonna leave you out of this. Take nice, tight vagina and replace it with nice, wide penis. You know, that one that turned your innie into an Audi. And I'm not talking about your navel. That's a fellow you made sure to spend the night with every year before your annual exam, just to make sure that checkup goes that much more smoothly. And I know I'm not leaving anybody out. Gay man? You know, do what you do in life, pick a side, make it fit for you. You know, that one that turns your innie into an Audi. And I'm not talking about your navel. And while we're on the subject of nice wide penis, I was in the men's room recently, and this particular night, I walk in and I go right to the stall. And that's not my normal thing. I mean, I'm not modest, I'm a confident man. if it's backed up and I know it's ready to go, I mean, I'll generally have my nice wide penis in my hand when I walk through the door. I mean, I may even stand back a couple feet. Have a conversation. But this night, I really wasn't feeling the urgency, so I went to the stall. Because it's kind of awkward to go into the men's room, stand next to another man, and not pee. That just creates an awkward situation. Again, an awkward situation. And that's the last thing that I want to do in the men's room. But anyway, this night, I go in there, I'm in the stall, and I hear the fellow in the stall next to me finish up and he heads out. The next sound that I hear, the hand dryer. I didn't hear the sink. And all I could figure was that this guy had peed on his hands and then just dried them. So apparently, there's some jokers running around out there giving out the dry pee handshake. So dap it up, people. Dap it up. Thank you.
Give it up one more time for Patrick Harvey.